Terrence Allen Crews, Terry Crews, as we more popularly know you, dude. I, I first off, I love and respect Terry Crews. Right, he's hilarious when he's in his comedic stuff. He's a great actor. He's a great role model. A lot of people need to aspire to be as kind-hearted an individual as Terry Crews is. But man, it makes it hard to be a fan when you come out with some of the things you come out with. Like, I I get where you're coming from with some of the things you say, but at the same time they are just so tone deaf. Some of the things you say, and it hurts. And I'm just sitting here thinking, what is the problem with Terry Crews? Like some of the stuff you like. I'm making this video in response to a tweet, right? Terry Crews made a tweet today saying, if you're a child of God, you are my brother and sister. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. We must ensure, this is the crazy part, we must ensure Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into Black Lives Better. How, Terry? How? Like, we're so far away from getting equality for black people that why should supremacy for black people even be a thing? Like, black supremacy literally doesn't exist. That is not going to be a reality anytime soon. Especially when physically we're in the minority. There's just not enough black people to get a majority, to get supremacy. How, after hundreds of years, are we gonna be able to basically turn the system on its head in such a thorough way that black people go from right at the bottom all the way to right at the top, above white people, above Asians, above Jewish, above all of them, man? How? And the thing is with Terry, it's like if this was just a one-off case of him tweeting some crazy stuff, you'd just be like, ugh, and but you could kind of sort of like try to make allowances for anything. But Terry Crews is a repeat offender of saying weird stuff. So here's another thing that he said back in, I think it was November of last year, right? Now this is about what he said relating to Gabrielle Union. So when she used to be a judge on America's Got Talent, she then left after a season because she was claiming that racism and sexism was going on in the workplace. Terry Crews, as the host of America's Got Talent, right, and a big prominent figure on there, a big prominent black figure on there, he then went out of his way to go and say, look, I can't speak for sexism because I'm not a woman, but I can speak on any racism comments. That was never my experience. In fact, it was the most diverse place I've ever been in my 20 years of entertainment. He just straight up threw Gabrielle Union under the bus as if to say, look, listen, what you're saying, bullshit. I never saw nothing. And it's like, come on, man. It's already tough enough for black women in the industry as it is, but then when you as a prominent black male figure don't support a black female figure, it's really, really hurtful and harmful. You know what I mean? And he eventually apologized for it. He said, look, listen, it's not my intention. But the thing is as well, when he was saying that stuff, he said, look, listen, when it comes to things like this, I go to my wife for advice. And my wife was saying, yo, listen, you speak on what you know. You know what I mean? And it was basically like saying, look, my wife told me to say this, so I'm going to say this. Bro, come on, man. And then another thing that Terry Crews said, right, is he said, when he said this, I think back in January or February, right? But or was it really recently? I can't quite remember. But no, it was recently, sorry. He said this at the beginning of June. He said, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together. No, Terry, no. If we do this without white people, it just means that we did it without white people. It doesn't create black supremacy. You know what I mean? Defeating white supremacy does not automatically mean, okay, cool, white people out, black people in. It just means that white supremacy is done. Like, you know, white people are now on the same level as everyone else. It doesn't mean that black people now rise above and are now, the people on top. And I get what you're saying when you say that we're in it together. Like, it's gonna be a united effort to to defeat racism, but to think that we have to be dependent on white people's support for us to be able to achieve equality is pretty tone deaf, and it's kind of undermining the strength and power of black people and making our voices heard. You've got to realize that a lot of what is going on right now came specifically from black people rising up. It was black people finally making their voices heard, and no white people were the instigators of that uproar at the beginning. Like, at the very beginning, it was black people that sparked that. You know what I mean? Sure, white people have carried it on, but the very beginning and how this all started, it came from black voices finally just being like, look, man, we've had enough, and black people getting up in arms about it. Furthermore, there's also been a lot of white people who are involved that are trying to derail the movement. So some of them are actually hindering the process, right? So yeah, I get it, we're all in this together, but at the same time, come on, man, black supremacy is not a thing. It's not going to be a thing. For us to be superior, we first have to be equal and then edge out above the competition. We're not even equal yet. So can we not speak about that right now? You know what I mean? But I don't know. I made this video because really and truly, I want to know what you guys think, right? Is it us being too sensitive about what Terry Crews is saying? Are we being too critical of Terry Crews? Because maybe that just might be it, right? Because like I said, I get what Terry Crews is getting at each and every time. When it came to Gabrielle Union, I get what he was saying. He was just saying that, look, in his experience, he hasn't seen no racism. People have been nice to him when he's been on America's Got Talent. So in his eyes, there's no racism. And compared to everywhere else he's worked, he's had it rough. So maybe America's Got Talent just wasn't that bad a place for it when it comes to racism. Maybe the racism was racism light, right? So not really an issue that it's just, water off a duck's back. When it comes to what he said about this black supremacy thing, like I said, it comes down to it's a group effort, a collective effort. Then when it comes to this thing over here saying we must ensure Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into Black Lives Better, it's just a case of saying, look, listen, black people, when we're doing this movement, it is about, at the end of the day, equality, not supremacy. So don't get caught up in trying to make it about being pro-black and anti-white. Don't make it about black strength, black strength, black strength, without taking into consideration that we are just trying to be equal and on everyone else's level. It's all about, one race, human race sort of thing, right? That's what he's getting at. And so I get that. You know what I mean? I get that. And maybe it's just all of us being a bit too critical of Terry Crews. But you guys tell me, what do you think? I personally am a bit fed up of Terry Crews and him coming out with stuff like this. If it was just the one time, then it's like, well, we all mess up. But increasingly so in the last few years, like, Terry Crews has just been coming out with stuff like this, and it's just like, bro, Terry, at your grown age, you should know better than to say some of these things. Like, run it by some people. And it's kind of like, you kind of have to just question, like, who is Terry Crews hanging around with that nobody's, like, checking him in on this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, if he had a few black friends, you'd think that they'd be saying, like, don't tweet that one there. You know what I mean? It's weird. it's just weird. It's just weird, man. But you guys sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think about Terry Crews. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, I do not want Terry Crews cancelled or anything like that. We've got some really silly thing going on with cancel culture at the moment, where we're always trying to cancel someone anytime they do something egregious. But Terry Crews doesn't deserve anything like getting cancelled, right? But definitely, man, we got to talk to him as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. You guys tell me. Should we talk to him? Should we leave him be? What should we do, guys? Let me know.